Hello dear students, welcome to Edihunt video lessons. We are dealing with the respiratory system and how the breathing takes place and the structure of various organs that are involved in respiration process. So basically there are several types of respiratory organs based on the kind of organism and its habitat where the organism lives. So for terrestrial animals, mostly lungs act as the respiratory organs. For aquatic animals, the moist skin and also gills act as respiratory organs. We have discussed all these things in the previous sessions itself. So now we have also finished the mechanism of breathing in human beings and various muscles that help during respiratory process, and also several structures like diaphragm, its role in respiration, and also intercostal muscles and their role in respiration. These are all finished and explained in detail in the previous session. Now we have come to exercise part, the worksheet. మన ప్రీవియస్ నాలెడ్జ్ని యూజ్ చేసి ఇప్పుడు కొన్ని బిట్స్ చూద్దాం. బిఫోర్ గోయింగ్ ఇన్ టు ద డీటెయిల్స్, బిఫోర్ గోయింగ్ టు అటెంప్ట్ దీస్ బిట్స్, we just watch a small video regarding the mechanism and the various structures involved in the mechanism of breathing. Then we'll discuss these bits. Okay, let's begin. Yeah, human respiratory system. Our system involves exchange of gases, and there are two gases which participate in breathing, respiratory system. The two important gases of the respiratory system are oxygen and CO2. Let's see. So this is trachea and these are the lungs, right and left lung. This lung consists of two lobes. The left lung consists of two lobes and the right lung with three lobes. Pulmonary, so the goblet cells which are present in the nasal membrane, they secrete the mucus. And not only the gases that enter in our human respiratory system, not only the gases, along with gases, some insects and some dust particles and even microbial organisms will enter the body. But at the entry level itself, they are restricted. How they are restricted? Larger particles are captured by the hairs present in the nasal opening, and the smaller ones are captured by the mucus secreted by the goblet cells that we are seeing here. These are the cilia, ciliated cells. This is the mucus secreted by the goblet cells, and this mucus captures the tiny particles present in the air. These are the microbial organisms or other tiny particles that are entered. This is our respiratory system. Nasal chamber is there and epiglottis. Here we have to mention the role of epiglottis. These are the nasal openings through which we breathe the air through the nasal openings. The air enters. This is the nose, and the air passes through the nose. These are the ciliary cells that capture the hair particles. The hair captures the larger dust particles. These are the goblet cells that secrete the mucus and capture the tiny particles that have entered through the air into the nasal passage. They prevent the entry of these tiny particles to enter into the lungs. This one is the nasal chamber, pharynx, and then trachea. This is epiglottis and larynx. Larynx is also known as voice box, which produces voice. And epiglottis, I have already mentioned the role of epiglottis. The role of epiglottis, the tiny flap, a membrane-like structure present in the upper region of our mouth. దాన్నే మనం కొండనాలుక అంటాం తెలుగులో. సో ఆ కొండనాలుక రోల్ రెస్పిరేషన్లో ఏముంది అంటే, while we are eating food, it only enters the esophagus. It directly enters the esophagus, but not the lungs. Lungs loki food మనం తీసుకునే food, it should not enter the lungs. It should only reach the esophagus. Esophagus కి ఎలా రీచ్ అవుతుంది అంటే, for esophagus and the pharynx, the trachea opening is same, but only the bolus reaches the esophagus. How it is possible? While we are eating, the epiglottis closes the nasal, that tracheary part, windpipe ni close చేసి పెడుతుంది epiglottis. Epiglottis ఎప్పుడైతే windpipe ని close చేస్తుందో, the only way to the bolus is esophagus only. So esophagus లోకి మాత్రమే ఆ bolus అనేది, bolus is the ball with the food ball is known as bolus. ఆ bolus esophagus ని రీచ్ అవుతుంది. Yes, that is epiglottis. I'll show how it works. Yes, ఇది ఇది ఎపిగ్లోటిస్, కొండ నాలుక అన్నాం కదా. ఆ కొండ నాలుక మనము భోజనం చేసేటప్పుడు, ఏదైనా ఫుడ్ తీసుకునేటప్పుడు ఆ కొండ నాలుక విండ్ పైప్ని క్లోజ్ చేస్తుంది. చూడండి, అదిగో ఆ రకంగా విండ్ పైప్ని క్లోజ్ చేసేస్తుంది. అలా క్లోజ్ చేయడం వల్ల ఫుడ్ ఈసోఫాగస్ని మాత్రమే రీచ్ అవుతుంది, లంగ్స్ని కానీ ట్రేకియాని కానీ రీచ్ అవ్వదు. సో ఇన్ దాట్ వే ఎపిగ్లోటిస్ హెల్ప్స్ during respiration and also eating. Epiglottis closes the windpipe during eating. This is the trachea. Din gurinchi cheppali. So trachea, it is a windpipe. This is supported by the mechanical strength is given by the cartilaginous rings. Cartilage ante maniki flexible bones. They are bones, soft bones. These are present in tip of the nose. This is mana nose ela move cheyagalagutunnamu ante the reason is cartilage is present at the tip, and even the pinna, ears kuda move avutunnayi kada. So bone move avadu, but cartilage is somewhat flexible. So soft bone, cartilage, that kind of cartilaginous rings that cover the trachea, they prevent collapsing of trachea and gives mechanical strength to trachea. So idanta ee trachea full complete rings kaadu, these are C shaped rings. C-shaped rings and they are incomplete in dorsal surface. Dorsal side అవి incomplete గా ఉంటాయి. గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, ఇవన్నీ బిట్స్ లో వస్తాయి. మల్టిపుల్ చాయిస్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆన్సర్ చేసేటప్పుడు we need to remember all these things and we have to recollect all these points. This is the trachea. It is guarded by the cartilaginous rings which are incomplete rings. The air enters through the trachea into the lungs. The lungs, there are two lungs situated in the thoracic cavity, the right lung and the left lung. Right lung has 3 lobes and the left lung has 2 lobes. The trachea that gives out branches called the bronchi, and these bronchi again gives secondary bronchi. The primary bronchi will again partitioned and again branched into secondary bronchi, and these are again branched and rebranched. They form a tree-like structure called the bronchioles. And this is the pulmonary artery and this is pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein carries the oxygenated blood, whereas the pulmonary artery carries the deoxygenated blood. This should be remembered. Yes. Oxygenated blood is carried through the pulmonary vein to the heart, whereas pulmonary artery carries the deoxygenated blood from heart to the lung to purify it. These are the bronchioles. We can see the tiny hair-like, the branched bronchioles in the lung. These are segmented several times. And each bronchiole ends in a sac-like structure called the, this is called the, yes, the unit of respiration, unit of lung, that is alveoli. These are the alveoli. Each bronchiole ends up in alveoli. Tiny sac-like structures actually involved in exchange of gases. Bronchiole. See, this is the bronchiole and this is the alveolus. Singular is alveolus and plural is alveoli. So each bronchiole ends up in alveolus, and if we observe each alveolus, it is like a sac-like structure and has a tiny membrane surrounding it. This is the membrane that surrounds the alveoli, and each alveolus is has supply of blood. This is the capillaries that enclose the alveoli. Oxygenated, the red color shows the oxygenated blood and the blue represents the deoxygenated blood. These are the RBC that carry, yes, oxygen. They carry oxygen. And in oxygen, in RBC, there is a respiratory pigment known as hemoglobin, and this hemoglobin can carry, each molecule of hemoglobin can carry mostly 4 oxygen molecules. This should be remembered. These are the RBCs. They are passing through the capillaries, and these RBCs have, this is the respiratory pigment hemoglobin, and each hemoglobin molecule consists of a centrally located iron atom. Iron, which is +2 in state. Iron, Fe2 plus. And this entire structure is known as porphyrin structure, and there are 4 rings attached to central iron atom. These are the blood cells, RBCs, flowing through the capillaries, and they are carrying the oxygen. Each blood corpuscle is carrying oxygen. And if we see the movement of exchange of gases part, exchange of gases is purely through diffusion. A simple diffusion process, the exchange takes place between the environment and the organism, and from organism to the lung, in the lung, and in the lung from alveoli to the tissues. And the only phenomenon that is involved in exchange of gases is simple diffusion. And these are the 2 areas. This is the capillary and it is the alveolus. Capillary, as I have mentioned, and we have seen that each alveolus is surrounded by a network of capillaries. So these capillaries, they are in contact with the alveolus. Capillaries are in contact with the alveolus, and capillaries, remember, they carry blood. So this is the capillary and this is the alveolus. If we see carefully, high concentration of CO2 is present in the capillary region. This is carbon, and both oxygen atoms are attached to carbon, that is carbon dioxide molecule. And in the lower region, it is the alveolus. In alveolus, there is high concentration of oxygen, and both how they are balanced. The oxygen that is high will go to the capillaries, and the CO2 that is high in the capillaries will come to alveolus. Yes, we can see the molecules that are moving. Oxygen atoms, oxygen molecules are moving into the capillary, and CO2 atoms, CO2 molecules are moving down into the alveolus. So, here in capillary, there is a high concentration of CO2. That is why the CO2 moves from capillary to the alveolus. In the same way, alveolus consists of high concentration of oxygen. So, to balance it, to equilibrium, to attain the equilibrium, the oxygen molecules will enter the capillary through a process of simple diffusion. This is the rib cage and thoracic cavity. In that thoracic cavity only, the lungs, the respiratory organs are situated, and mainly we have to focus on the various muscles that are involved in the breathing process. Intercostal muscles, sternum, and the diaphragm. These are the main structures or the muscles that are involved in breathing process. One is the diaphragm, and second one is the intercostal muscles, and third one is the sternum. The movement of these contractions and relaxations of these affect the breathing process, that is during inspiration and also expiration. During inspiration, let us see what will happen. This is the rib cage, these are the ribs. Diaphragm plays a crucial role in expiration and inspiration. Yes, expiration. If we look at the picture, we can see expiration is the release of gas and inspiration is absorbing the gas, that is taking in, oxygen is taken in, and also CO2 is liberated out. Giving out CO2 is known as the expiration, and taking in the oxygen is known as the inspiration. Both occurs in the respiration. Expiration, inspiration, expiration and inspiration. So these are the lungs and this is thoracic cavity, and we can see the diaphragm. Yeah, the red color one is the diaphragm. There it has a crucial role in breathing process. Whenever the diaphragm contracts and the internal intercostal muscles contract, it gives out some space. It gives some space. That means expansion of the thoracic cavity takes place while the intercostal muscles and diaphragm gets contract. Yes. While it is contracting, inspiration is taking place. While it is relaxation, expiration taking place. While contraction, the diaphragm, it comes to like this. It increases the thoracic cavity. Because of this, lungs enlarge and they have more capacity to take the oxygen in, to take the gas in. So, చూడండి, ఇది డయాఫ్రమ్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, రిథమిక్ కంట్రాక్షన్స్ అండ్ రిలాక్సేషన్స్ చూపిస్తుంది. ఆ రిథమిక్ కంట్రాక్షన్స్ అండ్ రిలాక్సేషన్స్ వల్ల, డయాఫ్రమ్ మూమెంట్ వల్ల లంగ్స్ ఎక్స్పాండ్ అవ్వడం, రిలాక్స్ అవ్వడం, ఎక్స్పాండ్ అండ్ కంట్రాక్షన్ జరుగుతూ ఉంది.